Hello YouTube world, it is Liam the Deaf Doom MetalHead with a brand new video. This time we are doing the best represses and pressings of 2020. So these are all albums that have existed in the past and either have been pressed for the first time on vinyl or repressed this year. So hopefully this month I'm going to try and do my top albums of the year in like a 3-part series, because I brought quite a few for 2020, so I'm going to break it up. I want to do this video, there might be another collection update, and then right at the end of the year I want to do something like different and special for the VC right at the end of the year to kind of, you know, get through Christmas, New Year, because there's nothing on TV. So hopefully you'll watch these, probably not, but you never know. So first off on my list of represses for 2020 is the legendary King Diamond. Now all his albums have been re-released this year on various colours and different pressings, you know, different versions, but I think even CDs have been remastered by Metal Blade this year. This originally came out in September 1988. This is Them, my favourite King Diamond record, and the only one I've got so far on the represses. I've got Abigail back there on the CD that Roadrunner did years ago, but I really want to get all these and have the nice collection. But this is the main one for me. This is the very first King Diamond album I ever heard. In the days of LimeWire when I was a teenager, I got the track Bye Bye Missy, and yeah, been a fan ever since. Brilliant album. This is the Pastel Violet repress. They're all repressed in May, and as the year's gone on, more and more have been released, and you can get King Diamond records now without even trying, which is quite cool, because before they were really hard to get, obviously, at a sensible price. So that is the version I have. And yeah, I fucking love King Diamond. Nothing, you can't go wrong with King Diamond. If you're a traditional metal fan, you like King Diamond. If you're a death metal fan, you probably like King Diamond. Black metal fan, you know, any kind of metal you like, 99% of those fans will like King Diamond. So yeah, legend. And then moving on to a Swedish, they're more like a prog band now, but they were a death doom band in their heyday, to me anyway. This originally came out in 1993 in December. Has been repressed several times, and this is a Peaceville repressing for this year, and that is Katatonia's Dance of December Souls, their debut. Brilliant album. This is, for me, their strongest music. I mean, obviously they've changed styles and they've progressed, and you know, as musicians have grown, and you know, some of their latter albums I quite like, but this for me is the style that I'll always be drawn to. There is a black version of this, but also Peaceville did a pastel purpley kind of repressed to match the album artwork, which I got. Really good album, you know, and I think it's been repressed several times from different labels, but this is the Peaceville version they put out this year. And then moving on to some 90s American death metal, this is Fire Aggression. This was originally pressed in 1991 by Tombstone Records. I think it was only a CD and tape when it first came out. But Hammer Heart Records, that everyone knows, is a Dutch label that I've done some amazing represses and a few in this pile. But this one stood out to me. Never heard of them before. Checked it out. Really liked it. This was done in March this year. There is an orange version, but this is only black vinyl, so I won't show it to you. But if you don't know who these guys are, essentially 90s American death metal, so you can't really go wrong. You know, really good stuff. So check them out. And then this one is a classic and one of my favourite albums ever. There's a few obviously, but this is one of them. This is Tiamat with Clouds. This originally came out in 1992 through Century Media. If you really wonder why I'm looking, it's obviously I have to write all this down because I'm never going to remember all this. But yeah, this came out in 1992 through Century Media. Absolute classic album. Tiamat are a Swedish band again, but they started off as more death metal, and then they've progressed through the doomier side into more gothic rock and a bit more experimental in their sound as latter albums went on. But this is always my go-to for this band. Absolute classic. This one again has been repressed several times. This one was done by a company called Alma Mater Records in September this year. They've done, I think, 3 other versions, but this one is the 4th one. It has like a purple-black splatter, which I really like the look of. The original remaster, well, actually, yeah, it has been remastered as well. But the repress of this originally was just plain purple. So if you get that one, that's obviously a harder one to find. But that one came out this year. And yeah, absolute classic album. And everyone should own that. Or at least be aware of it anyway. And then moving back to Hammerheart Records, this one is an absolute belter, and I absolutely love this band for many, many reasons. Finnish Death Doom at its best, and that is Hooded Menace with the classic Never Cross the Dead. Repressed this year, but it was originally recorded and released by Dementia and Profound Law as a joint. So Profound Law did the CD and tape in 2010, and then later that year, Dementia did the vinyl release. Hammerheart put this one out in, I think it was March again this year. There's several versions of it because it's 10 years since it came out. Annoyingly, I didn't get the gatefold version. I've just got the 2LP on black in there. There is a red version as well, and I think they also did a repress and a remaster with better artwork, kind of tarted it up a bit, and did a tape and CD version as well. So go check that out. And then this one was a very lucky find for me because I didn't think I was going to get it. This is a bizarre album for many people, but it's one I always wanted. And that is Fights, A Small Deadly Space. This is the band Rob Halford started as he was leaving Judas Priest. This came out in 1995. Did I write it down? Yes, I did. Yeah, pressed in 1995 by Epic Sony. And this is a Record Store Day special, so that was quite lucky to get it because I couldn't make Record Store Day for obvious reasons, the plague being the main reason. But I found this on the internet for a sensible price before eBay has like kind of made it go through the roof. It was originally, there was a repress in Brazil, but that was even harder to find if you wanted this on vinyl. But there's 2,500 copies of this version. This one was the April edition. It comes on this kind of like smoky red version, which is nice. Not the best Fight album. I prefer War of Words, I think is the first one. But this one's got probably their heaviest track, which is Human Crate. And comes in this nice gatefold as well with lyrics and the band. So go check that out if you haven't. This one is really cool because this is the first time it's ever been pressed on vinyl, and if you do have an earlier version on vinyl, I'm fairly sure it's a bootleg. This is a Swedish band again. They are Epic Doom. The band name is inspired by the band Trouble, and that is Memory Garden. They did 2 this year actually. So this is the EP Forever, which was never pressed. I think you can maybe get it on CD and maybe tape, and then the debut Tides, which is also a CD tape. I don't think it was ever pressed to vinyl. Both came out in 1995, and then the follow-up came out in 1996. Done through Heathen Doom Records. If you've ever heard of them, I've never heard of them. But this was done by an Italian label called Johnny Roger Records, but he has a little side label called Blackbeard Records. And yeah, I think he's obtained all the licenses to this band's back catalogue, so I think next year there'll be another 2, or maybe even 4, but this year he only put out the first 2. Really, really good band. If you like Epic Doom, traditional metal, even power metal, they kind of cross into that area as well. They're a really good band. This album is a classic. The EP is cool, and I really I'm glad I got it because you can't get it on streaming services. So that's another plus to buying physical, because not a lot of albums are on Spotify and stuff like that. But this album here for me, you can listen to it on Spotify, is an absolute classic. Really, really good album. They're both coloured vinyl. There is a black version. There weren't a lot of money either. Nothing fancy, it's just blue. The other one's more of a pale blue. But this is the electric blue version for this album. But yeah, I'm really excited about getting the rest of these because they're a really cool band. And yeah, go check them out, Memory Garden, especially that album Tides. So that's them. Put them down there. Now here's another one that's been repressed several times. And yeah, big fan of this band, as many people know who follow my channel. This is Solstice with New Dark Age. This was repressed this year by Floga Records from Greece. They've repressed it already once before in 2017, but they've done it again because it's sold out. Nice gatefold here. Any problem I have with this is the sleeve doesn't fit the records in, so they have to live outside it. But yeah, really nice matte finish. All the original artwork, lyrics there. And the LPs were done on a silver version and a black version, so I got the silver one to match the artwork. And yeah, really good traditional Doom. Really, really good. believe there's a cover song on here as well, like a Maiden cover. Yeah, so go check that out. Really, really good album, classic. Originally came out in 1998 through Misanthropy Records. I probably butchered that, but there you go. But yeah, 2020 through Flogo. Now this one, as soon as it was announced, I jumped on it straight away. I even stayed up till, no, I set my alarm clock and woke up at 2 in the morning to pre-order it in American time to make sure I got a copy of it. This is Hooded Menace with their debut of Terror and the Supernatural. Absolute belter of an album, brilliant band. All three of their albums are fucking solid. Absolute stellar band for me. Death Doom done the really heavy, interesting way. They're not just over the top. There's some really cool proggy elements in there. The vocals are super low, but you can hear what he's saying, which is really cool. And they got very much a Morbid Angel kind of vibe to them as well, which I really, really like. This came out in 2014 by Reign Without End Records. I think it was only a CD version back then. And then this is the Redefining Records 2020 repress. There's two versions of it. There was a pastel version and like a pale version. I got the kind of matte pale version. Both LPs are different colour. I won't get them both out, but one was green and the other one was brown. And yeah, and all the inlays as well, really nice. If you can see that there, really cool. Done properly, you know, full gatefold with liner notes and a little bit of the history of the band and how the album was put together and that kind of thing, which is really nice. And yeah, super, super cool band. Really, really good. So go check them out. Everyone should know about these by now. And there's hopefully another album by them next year. My last one from Hammerheart. This I was really, really excited about. And yeah, I need to get the others basically. Trouble with their, well, this was their debut. Originally it was just called Trouble, but then they put the Psalm 9 later on. But this was originally put out in 1984 by Metal Blade. And yeah, absolute classic. If you like your traditional Doom, but with a proggy kind of edge and a bit of groove metal in there, you know, you'll love this band. I got the white version. I think it was limited to 100 or maybe 150. I can't really remember. But there's a few colours you could get. And Hammerheart have retained the licenses to all their back catalogue. So as you go through the year, you've seen The Skull was put out and self-titled as well. But an amazing band. This is such a good album, it's unreal. Really, really good album. If you've never checked them out, please do. This was put out, I think, in May? Yeah, May 2020, along with The Skull. And then later on, other albums have been put out by them as well, which I will be buying. So go check out that. And then moving on to some Italian Death Doom. This was originally an EP that was put out in 2014 by Terror from Hell Records. And then Tito and the guys at Everlasting Spew picked it up and pressed it to vinyl for this year. And that is Assumptions, The Free Appearances. Really, really good EP. Very, very strong. 4 tracks. Yeah, brutal. Really, really good stuff. This is just the black version. There's only 200 copies of this. So I was very lucky to get a copy of it. There's a really nice blue kind of swell version as well. That's in existence. But yeah, really, really cool band. Really interesting. And one people should check out if you've never heard of them before. And then lastly on my list is 2 brilliant represses from this band. They've also put out a full length this year, which is very, very popular at the moment. But I will show that maybe in a later video, obviously. But these 2 represses I really wanted. First one is Paradise Lost, The Plague Within. Now this has been repressed a few times as well, but this is the October version from this year through Music on Vinyl. I have to read my notes because I won't remember any of this. But it originally came out in 2015 by Century Media. Similar sort of layout, and I don't think they haven't changed anything too much. Full gatefold with band photo from the time. But what I really like about this one is it comes with a nice book, about 5 pages with all the liner notes and stuff like that. They're repressed on this nice, really nice clear smoky vinyl, and on the D side there's an etching of artwork like that, which is really nice. But yeah, an absolute quality album, probably one of my favourites by them. I mean, It's weird because I kind of ignored Paradise Lost for a number of years, and then this year the new album came out and I checked it out and I really liked it, but I wasn't instantly drawn to it. But this one I've always liked, but I never had a copy of it. So when it was announced they had another repressing, I jumped on it straight away. So yeah, go check that one out. But the one that really impressed me the most, I don't know if you can see back there, just next to that Cannibal Corpse box set, is I think it's the 15-year anniversary of Draconian Times on DVD. They did it all live in London. I nearly got tickets to go see it, but I didn't. But this is the 25th anniversary of said album. That was put out by Music the Nations this year. This originally came out in 1995. And I completely forgot how good this album is. I mean, I haven't listened to it for a number of years. It's just one of those ones I kind of gloss over. I always listen to Shades of God, Lost Paradise, Gothic, you know, all those kind of albums. I always forget about this one. And I got this because I thought, ooh, I remember liking that a lot. And yeah, it's a fucking amazing album. Like, it's flawless. And I completely forgot how good it is. Full gatefold. There's 3 versions. There's a splatter, a red and a blue. I got the blue version, which kind of bugs me now because what I didn't realise is the splatter version came with like a 25-page booklet with liner notes and all sorts of stuff like that. So I missed out on that. But if I can find it, if I put it in here, if I remember, it did come with the first 400 orders of each pressing came with a signed card by the band. So they're all the note signatures there, Gregor, the lot. So I'm really happy with that because I didn't realise that came with it. So it was a nice surprise, and it was boxed separately as well. So I nearly threw it away, but luckily I checked my recycling before I threw it out. But yeah, Draconian Times, absolute classic. Forgot how good this is. It's been remastered as well, so it sounds absolutely immaculate. Really good quality, and yeah, I can't rate this highly enough for a repressing as well. Not done cheap. The only downside is the blue version and the red version don't come with liner notes, which is a bit of a cheap thing because they've done the whole hog, full gatefold, you know, audiophile records, 180 gram, but no liner notes, just the splatter version, which came with all the, you know, extra goodies as well, which kind of pissed me off because the splatter version doesn't look nothing fancy either. But there you go, live and learn. Should have read the info bit before I bought it. So yeah, that's my represses for 2020. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what your favourite represses from this year are. There's been loads, and I've missed out on a few myself. But yeah, they're my favourites from this year that I've got. And next video, I'm going to try and do my countdown to my favourite albums of the year. I've got 5 that I've picked are my ultimate favourites from this year, but I'm going to do the whole of what I've got this year because I've nearly got about 40 albums this year that, you know, I really enjoyed, and I want to do like a countdown of all them and then put them in a certain number. They're all brilliant, but you know, we'll do my top 40 albums of the year. So until then, please subscribe if you don't already, and like this video, and let me know what you think. You know, talk to me in the comments section. I always talk back to people. That's the whole point of doing these videos. That's the fun part. So until then, take care, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Cheers.